Hello and welcome to Fully Express with me, Aisha Hilton. And today I'm talking about the witch wound and why it might not have felt safe to be seen. I've definitely experienced this, and why the world needs our gifts more than ever. So I once set up a room in my house, especially for seeing clients. It was really pretty. I had the lovely furniture, flowers, nice lighting, including a crystal lamp. I got business cards printed. I designed them myself. I built a website. I'd done all my training. And then I saw one person, which was scary enough. And then I just totally freaked out and I could never bring myself to see anyone again, which is crazy, right? I had this innate and inexplicable fear of working as a healer or being an intuitive. Like, it's crazy. And it wasn't because I didn't believe in the work. I'd been drawn to healing since I was very young. I was reading Louise Hay in my early teens, the Heal Your Body book, and I still have the little blue companion book that lists all the ailments and their probable causes. And unfortunately, I didn't heal my body with that book, unfortunately, but my interest and love of alternative healing and therapies and modalities continued from my late teens and early 20s and onwards. So I trained in a lot of modalities. I did pranic healing with Master Chuakok Sui, even did a retreat with him, and that was amazing. I trained as a death doula and a birth doula a few years ago, and I trained as an EFT practitioner back when EFT had just started and Gary Craig was everywhere. And I'd travel to Melbourne, do all the training, come home, go back the next weekend. And I used EFT every single day on myself, and I believed in it, but I just couldn't bring myself to use it with other people. And this happened again and again over my last few decades. I train in something, put all this time and effort and money and love, and get right at the edge of stepping into it, and then something would pull me back. Not just pull me back, it would jerk me back. And you wouldn't believe how many domain names I've purchased over the years, and websites that I built, and business cards that I've designed for various healing businesses that I wanted to start and then just couldn't. And for people who've known me for a while, they've seen me do lots of different things in my business, but maybe don't know that part of it. And for a while, I thought there was something wrong with me. I didn't really understand how my love of healing could not be translated into working with people. It was really confusing and perplexing. And I've only recently, I think, come to realize that I was carrying what's known as a witch wound. And I know this sounds very way out there and very woo. And if you don't believe in past lives like I do, bear with me as I explore this with you, because it's not just past lives that can come down through our ancestors as well. And in this lifetime, I don't really identify as a witch. I'm not that into witchy things on one level, like I'm not in a coven or anything. But I do love things around the moon cycle and manifesting, healing, natural remedies, intuition. I'm big on that. And, you know, I love a lot of natural therapies. And I feel like women across the ages have been punished for their gifts in this area. And I don't think you have to identify or call yourself a witch to be impacted by the witch wound. From my understanding, the witch wound is the inherited bone deep fear of being persecuted for our gifts. And it could be a past life thing, or it could be coming down the genetic line. But, you know, it's that being persecuted for being powerful, a powerful woman, of being too much, too visible, too much of an amazing healer, too outspoken, too strong. And for centuries, women who were all of those things were punished for it. The women burned and drowned and hanged as witches were often just women who stood out, who were healers and midwives, women who knew things that would make a big difference to other people, and women who wouldn't comply. And I'm definitely one of those women in this lifetime. And the theory, which I feel in my body to be true, is that the fear of being seen and punished for our power got passed down through the generations, and it still runs in us, and it can make us hide our gifts out of fear. And there are successful people who look like they don't have this witch wound, but they're holding themselves back. So even like me, I show up, I do the work. I've had a business for 20 plus years online, but there was a part of me that was holding back. I can see the witch wound like a thread running through my life in a few different ways, and you might recognize some of them in yours. I knew that I had a fear of persecution because as a young child, I was absolutely terrified that I was going to go to jail for a crime I didn't commit. This was very real for me, like bizarrely real. And as a little girl, I was often falsely accused of things that I hadn't done by my brothers, and I would actually be punished by my mother for it. And so I learned early on that I could be both innocent and still punished, regardless of whether I did anything or not. And being blamed for something I didn't do was a real and present danger. It sounds like a movie title. And it taught my young nervous system that being singled out wasn't safe. Being seen and being visible wasn't safe, and you could get punished whether you'd done anything wrong or not. And all those times I trained as a healer and I was about to work with people and I had the business cards and the website and the room, I felt like I was standing in concrete and couldn't step forward. And it really was that petrifying, and it's quite hard to explain in a reasonable way why that would be, right? And for years, I was really perplexed by this polarity of loving training and healing modalities and studying all these things and believing in them and being so scared to use those modalities with people. And there was a part of me that I couldn't control that believed being visible and a powerful healer was dangerous. And let's be honest, historically it was. Healers were exactly the women who got persecuted. So every time I got close to fully claiming that role, some ancient part of me hit the brakes to keep me safe. And my subconscious was trying to keep me safe and protect me from danger, even when my mind couldn't fully understand it. And so many of us have built businesses following the bro marketing playbook, the aggressive tactics, the fake scarcity, the manipulation, and the pushing and the pushing and the pushing. And a lot of us did it for years, even though it made our skin crawl and we felt gross. I pretty much quickly learned that that wasn't the way for me. But we were told this is how you have to succeed. And many of us didn't feel safe doing it our own way and would just follow what these bro marketer dudes said. And, you know, I'm not immune to that. But now I feel like now that we may have betrayed our own knowing because we watched how others became successful. And if you're like me, you want to build your own business your own way. And now I feel like we're able to market from the more feminine and marketing from trust instead of pressure and aiming for win-win, not just a win of getting the sale, right? And building a relationship with our clients who we genuinely care about and have love for. And so if you've ever done what I did, trained for the thing and never launched it, written the book and never published it, I've done that at least. Well, not my soul's work yet, but that's coming. Or had a gift that you've kept hidden or started and stopped using. And then you've said to yourself, oh, I'm inconsistent or I'm scared or I'm a failure for it. Please, you're none of those things. You are protecting yourself from the danger and you are keeping yourself safe the only way you knew how, right? Which is even subconsciously just pulling back. So there's nothing wrong with you. It's just something very old that is coming through us to be worked on. And the hopeful part for me is that we can work with this wound and we can clear it. And for me, it's mostly been happening in layers. As most of you know, when you work on something in your life, it's like peeling the layers of an onion, one layer at a time, with a few tears mixed in. And as you know, I love to create music. My first album that I worked on was around the witch wound, actually, and I called it The Sacred Ones. And it explores how women have been told to hide their gifts, how we've been controlled and persecuted for being healers and intuitives, and how we didn't go away. We might have been silenced, we might have been hidden, but we've been here all along. So after I created that album, I listened to it over and over again. It was like medicine for my soul, and it fed my soul in a way that was thinking about the witch wound consciously didn't help me. But hearing that music, it was like I was calling my gifts and my courage back. And I felt like I was reclaiming my power. I also worked with a wonderful woman called Linda Nevin, who's in New Zealand, and she has a program specifically on healing the witch wounds, and I'll pop the link below. And she's amazing. And that, along with my music and Linda's energy infusions, were really useful to me in shifting out of the witch wound. And I don't think I would be doing this podcast if I'd not worked on my witch wounds and with Linda or created the album. My fear around being a healer was so fierce that even now I have moments of it lingering in the background, trying to hold me back from speaking my truth. And part of the process for me was naming and claiming how women have been treated, the persecution, the fear, the silencing, having to do deep healing work in secret, and then claiming how genuinely precious these gifts are, knowing how much the world needs them, and acknowledging how much this fear of persecution has cost us. It's cost us a lot, and it's cost the world a lot. And in a previous episode, I talked about how I was at an event where we had to write down our biggest fear. And this was a business event with lots of amazing women. And shockingly, nearly everyone wrote the same thing. The whole room of 300 amazing women were all afraid of being seen. That was their biggest fear. That's how afraid we are. And I do believe it could come from the persecution of women over generations. And I mean, historically, being a woman is a lot less safe than being a man. That's true. As for me, I don't know if I'm fully healed on this, but through working with Linda and creating and listening to my album, I feel bolder. I feel less afraid. I still feel the fear sometimes, like this soft whisper, but I'm not letting that fear hold me back. And this podcast is me walking straight into that wound and going, okay, I'm going to be visible. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to open myself up to being judged, and things could go wrong, but I'm still doing it. And even though I'm afraid, I'm doing it while I'm afraid. And I decided that hiding my gifts just costs me more than the risk of sharing them. And I guess that's what courage really is. The wound is still here in the psyche of the collective, and there's a shadow of it within me, even though I've worked on it. But I'm sharing myself in spite of it. And interestingly, we're living through a time where so many of the old structures are falling down. The hard, rigid, purely masculine way of doing things, they're all cracking, and you can feel it everywhere. And in human design, they talk about us leaving the era of planning. And the last 400 years, that era of planning was all about building collective structures and systems. And now we're moving into a new era, the era of the individual, where we can come back to our own intuition and our own authority. And that's why you might be noticing all these gurus falling off their pedestals, because we're done outsourcing our knowing. And what the world needs now is more of the feminine way of being and doing, more healing, intuition, care. And that's the gifts that we have to bring to this new era. Interestingly, my life's work in human design is called the right angle cross of planning. I know it's a funny name, but it basically means, I have these gifts of the old era. And as we move into the new era, we don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater, as they say. We want to keep the things that were good from the last 400 years. I don't know about you, but I really love sewerage. I love being able to travel the world. I would love to see a better form of democracy. And I think I want to keep modern medicine. Like if you have a car accident, you definitely want to be stitched up. Cancel any orders of accidents. But, there's some amazing advancements in medicine as well. And so we want to keep some of those things, but not at the cost of our self-expression and our well-being. You'll see a lot of younger people since COVID, they are not buying into the idea that work hard all your life, sacrifice, and then retire, and then you die. And, they're looking at things like micro retirement or working part-time. And we're also seeing, the education system failing so many young people. And I've had this experience myself as a parent. And then more and more people moving towards homeschooling. So I love that we're in this new era. And, it's meant the start date of it is next year, 2027, but it's definitely, we're in it right now. We're in the messy middle. And the new era is about following your own intuition and doing things your way. So you might have people that guide you along the way, but your authority always remains with you. And I love this. And we can all benefit from honoring our intuition more. And when we hide our gifts, we're really depriving the world of our light and our ability to have an impact on the lives of others and this beautiful planet as a whole. And the world really needs these gifts, and it needs them now. And so we can't let our fear hold us back from sharing these gifts. Not long ago, I worked with a woman who came to me carrying so much grief around this. She had real gifts and she was afraid to be visible. And there was a real sadness in this, and we were able to work with that. And now I've just seen such a transformation in her, claiming what it is that she truly wants to share in this lifetime. And so if you recognize this in yourself, feel free to reach out and have a chat to me about visibility wounds or witch wounds, and we can do a session together to help you move through that. I use something called Psych-K, which is a very simple process that can rewire your unconscious beliefs and also remove stress from your system. And regardless of all of this, please subscribe to Fully Express on Substack if you're not already. And if you've been with me for my pleasure, vanity, or aging or manifesting issues, you'll know that, I'm all about living a fully expressed life. And if you're ready to stop hiding your gifts, come over and join as a paid member of the collective. You get monthly future casting sessions with me where we drop in together and write ourselves into the future that we actually want, and a monthly Q&A and creators cuppa where you can pick my brain on all things to do with publishing, podcasting, writing, creating, visibility, and whatever else you're bringing into the world. And I wanted to share the work of Marianne Williamson, and you'll know these are famous words from her book that she published in 1992, and I'll just read it out to you. I think it's really beautiful. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You're a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of the God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. I love this because our deepest fear was never really that we were inadequate or that there was something wrong with us. It's that we're actually so bloody powerful. And for many of us across many lifetimes, being powerful is the exact thing that got us punished. So no wonder we're afraid of it. So, of course, we play small, and playing small keeps us alive. And our fear of our own light was never a weakness or false modesty, So that's the invitation now, to let ourselves be powerful beyond measure, to stop shrinking, to stop playing it safe, and to start really shining your light brightly in the world. Because God knows the world is a mess right now, and we need your light and we need your medicine. Thank you for joining me for Fully Expressed, and I've got a song for you after this from my album. I hope you enjoy it, and if you feel moved to, have a little boogie. Lots of love. Bye. I also wrote this poem, and I've recorded it here, and I actually felt a bit teary when I was recording it. I hope you enjoy it and the music to come. The women who learned to hide, we learned to make ourselves smaller, to swallow the knowing before it reached our lips, to feel the answer rise within us and call it imagination, and to just dismiss it, to place our hands upon the hurting and pretend we did not know what we could do. We learned to dim the light before anyone else could see it, because once being seen was dangerous. Once a woman who knew too much, felt too much, healed too well, spoke too loudly, stood too firmly in herself, could pay dearly for it. So we learn. We learn to hide the herbs, hide the wisdom, hide the knowing. We learn to whisper what we once might have spoken out loud. And somewhere along the way, hiding became so familiar, we forgot we were doing it. We called it doubt. We called it procrastination. We called ourselves inconsistent, afraid, not ready. Perhaps beneath all of that was something much older, a memory that said, don't let them see you. Do not show them what you know. Do not become too powerful. It isn't safe. and still the gifts remained, quietly waiting. The knowing never left, the hand still remembered, the voice was still there beneath the silence. And now I wonder how much the world has lost while we were hiding, how many healers were never healed, how many writers never wrote, how many women stood at the edge of their own becoming and stepped backwards, how much wisdom went with them to the grave. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to fear to decide what I give to this world. I don't want to need to be fearless. I don't need every wound to be healed. I only need to stop abandoning what I know is mine to give. So if my voice shakes, let it shake. If being seen frightens me, let me be seen afraid. If some ancient part of me whispers, hide, I will hear her, I will understand why, and then I will step forward anyway. Because these gifts inside us, they were never meant to disappear within us. There is wisdom the world has waited long enough to hear, and perhaps this is how the world begins to heal. Not by forgetting the women who had to hide, but by becoming the women who no longer do.
We rise from ash with steady feet, not broken, just incomplete. The roles they buried, still alive. We never left, we just survived. We wore their names, we learned their ways, but held our truths in hidden bays. Now time has turned, the veil is thin, the sacred ones come back again. We are the fire they try to drown, the ancient root beneath this ground. We walk as priestess, healer, guide, the soul of earth, the ocean's tide. We do not knock, we do not plead, we come with hands that know what's need. We light the smoke, we speak the dream, we hold what lives in what's unseen. We bless the birth, we tend the grief, we call the soul back into belief. We weave the dark, we tune the song, we are the ones who still belong, still belong. No church can hold what Spirit gave, no book can bind what we still crave. We come as many, not just one, the sacred roles, they are not gone. You'll know us by the way we see, the way we touch, the way we be. No titles now, no robes, no fear, just sacred work that says we're here, says we're here. I was the voice beneath the flame, the dream walker, the soul with no name. I held the blood, I held the sky, I was the bridge you walked to cry. I sang the stars I read the bone. I was the midwife of the unknown. But silence came with sword and law, and named my gift a thing of flaw. They took the robes, they took the rights, they burned the herbs, they banned the nights. They called it sin, they made it shame. They killed the role and kept the name. They told me hush, they told me lie. They turned my temple into wine. They paved the land, they cracked the stone, and left me aching, left alone. But still I burn beneath my skin, a sacred knowing held within. You cannot kill what time can't touch. The roll it turns, it hurts too much. I hear the drums through modern noise. I feel the grief in stolen voice, and every rage I've had to hide is memory that never died. They took the robes, they took the rights, they burned the herbs, they banned the nights. They called it sin, they made it shame. They killed the role and kept the name. They told me hush, they told me lie. They turned my temple into eye. They paved the land, they cracked the stone, and left me aching, left alone. Ooh, yeah. I am the priestess, I am the tide, the oracle you try to hide. I am the healer you denied, still here, still whole, still dignified. This wound is old, but not my end. It makes me rise, it helps me mend. I walk again the sacred way, and I remember how to stay. They took the robes, they took the rights, they burned the herbs, they banned the nights. They called it sin, they made it shame. They killed the role and kept the name. They told me hush, they told me lie. They turned my temple into eye. They paved the land, they cracked the stone, and left me aching, left alone. No stone, no glass, no holy hall, no rules that rise just to fall. The sacred place they tried to find was always here, was always mine. This breath, this heart, this open chest, this quiet ache that seeks the rest. The temple